Davile, thank you for joining me in the session on New Generation Lithuania, where we want to know more about what's new in Lithuania for international students.
Hello, Deepinder, and thank you for having me here. My name is Davile. I'm coming from Lithuania and Vilnius Tech University. And as we say, New Generation Lithuania is what we are following. We are very focusing on IT, on cybersecurity, as well as biotechnologies, energy efficiency, AI usage in everything, so these are the specialties of the future. This is where we put our focus on, and we prepare best graduates now that are sought out in the market for sure.
Thank you. And this session is going to be very exciting, and I'm really looking forward to the more discussion with you. Public university, research university, economical, affordable, quality education. That's what we have been telling people about Vilnius Tech all these, I think, 14 years now, right? You have seen India like nobody else have seen. In I would say many European universities have just entered Indian market, but you are traveling across India for many, many years now. How do you see India or Indian student seeing your education a potential, education destination for their better future?
Oh, of course, the change is there. I think we did a job. We personally traveled all India, I would say all India.
And you're traveling from since, I think, 2014?
14. I think, the first time I landed in India was in 2014. So
Okay.
It's already 12 years.
And every year,
process.
back to back, you're coming back to India. You are recruiting Indian students. You have a huge alumni network.
Yeah.
Students who have chosen to study at public university, Lithuania as one of the top. You're the biggest national public university, technical university, I would say, not the only public university. The students who are looking at your education, what they should know now, because 14 years is too much of time. Where do you see the changes happening in your institution?
In our institution, for sure, we are very related to all the changes of technologies, what are happening now in the market. For sure, we have everything in our classrooms, as well. We are trying to use AI to teach the students how to use correctly AI and how to benefit from it the most as well. For sure, we are now following all the trends, let's say, what is happening in the market. What is special about our university, basically, that we work very closely with the industry. We have industry representatives in all our study program committees and so on. So basically, we do have in our study programs updates happening every 3 years, So, and the industry has a say what is happening within the study program. So for sure, we have the skills. We give the skills to the students, not the old skills, what was happening when the programs were created 20 years ago or something like that. We give the skills that are needed right now. So the graduates are actually ready to join the job market, the companies that are as well participating in the process of creating those study programs. So I would say that if you are following the technologies, if you are in this market, if you are into engineering, into IT, Europe and European universities are the one to look into, because we have a lot of funding to adopt our study programs as well, and industry is supporting us a lot. We also have even scholarships. We now are establishing a minor studies together with MIT and with our companies which are energy related, because we are interested to improve our energy sector as well. Look what is happening in the world with all the energy, and resources. So for sure, we do everything what is now, in this changing world, which is changing really, really fast. And the beauty as well of the research university, what you have in the labs, the same you have in the classrooms.
Okay.
So
basically, coming on this statement, when you say changes is happening, Vilnius Tech being a public university, you always have students from India and other countries as well. Now, when you say we are changing to adapting the new things, so I think it's important to discuss about the adaptation in terms of student understanding. So let's suppose say you have a program where you bring international students. Do you have to get accreditation of the program very regularly? Each program is accredited for a certain period of time, and then you have to go back again to the Ministry of Education and get it approved again for the new job market, or the latest updates, or you have to approve only once and it goes for years and years. How does it work?
No, it's a constant update, constant improvement.
Okay.
This is how the European system works. It's on constant improvement, self-evaluation and constant improvement.
Okay.
So our programs are accredited every 7 years.
Okay.
If you are doing something wrong in your program, they are accredited for 3 years only.
Okay.
And then you need to go accreditation process basically the next year, because the preparation for accreditation takes around 2 years, because you self-evaluate every single thing what you have in your program,
Okay.
including how the students are feeling, are they getting employed, what the employers are saying about the students and their preparation, including, research output that is happening within this field, are we capable to prepare the students in this field, and so on. So every 7 years, so let's say the 5-year cycle of a study program, then 2 years of preparation for the new accreditation cycle. So the programs are constantly improved.
So let's suppose, say, when we talk about, I'm going to break down this statement a bit more for my audience to understand these things. So let's say bachelor's in mechanical program you have. It is for 7 years that you run. You go to the curriculum body, the accreditation body, which is the Ministry of Education. You took the accreditation, and now for 7 years you can run the program. Let's suppose say.
Yeah, I would also say that it's not the ministry that is accrediting the programs.
Okay.
It's a mix of commission of foreign experts, including industry experts.
Okay.
And ministry is just a body that is giving a paper.
Okay.
But the accreditation is not happening within the ministry. It is happening within the all involved parties.
Okay. People who teach, industry, subject matter experts. Okay.
Yes.
So once
students as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then you see if there is a lack of certain area in a program, you update it constantly.
Constant improvement.
Okay. You don't have to wait for 7 years.
No.
Okay, fine. So which means that something has to be updated this year. The next batch coming in will have an updated version of the program. Yeah. So this is exactly why we say education in Europe is gonna bring more value to your education, because you get the latest education which employers need. Okay. Yeah. When it comes to the research part, you said we have a huge budget for research. So for the audience to understand, let's say you're a public university, your money comes from the government because you're a public institution. So this research money is also belongs to government. Do they give it to you, or the European Union give it to you? How does this work for a normal layman language?
Nobody's giving nothing.
Okay.
You need to earn it.
Okay.
First of all, you need to show that you need to apply for the funding. You need to have great ideas.
Okay.
You need to have, for sure, the future-oriented ideas. Research is all about that.
Okay.
To researching about the stuff that you already know and trying to create something new.
Okay.
And to find new solutions and to find, new materials to create something and so on. So nobody's giving it, but you have to earn this money.
Okay.
And our university is applying for a lot of funding, and we are getting a lot of funding because the ideas are there, specifically when we are now looking into IT, biotechnologies, energy. These sectors are a priority sectors in Europe.
Okay.
So more funding is dedicated to that, including European Union funds, Horizon projects, research projects, and Lithuanian Research Council projects. I would say university is gaining around 60-70 million euros every year for research purposes only.
Okay.
So this includes, buying newest equipment, materials that you need as well, and paying to the people who are working there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to say one more thing here. In India, if I want to go to the top-notch institution in my country, in India, I'll go to IITs. IIT is the best institution in India to go for engineering program, and getting into IIT is a very complicated process. We have multiple IITs because we are a big country, and we have that's why we have a lot of students. Still, there are less of IITs, but whatever we have still multiple. In your country, you have majorly you have two universities, two tech universities. One is Vilnius Tech University, and second is Kaunas Tech University, which is the second biggest technical university, I believe, in the country.
Yes.
So, as a student, I see you as a 3 million or 3.5 million population. So, is there enough, space for students to actually, what I mean to say is that is this a small? People think it's a small country. What can we take it from a small country like Lithuania, because it's a small country, so their resources will be also small. That's what the opinion people have.
Small country, big opportunities.
Okay.
Here you have a too big competition on everything. When you have this many people around, there is a huge competition for
Very
everything.
true. Very true.
For example, Lithuania, we have all the companies. We have all the international companies as well. We have all the IT sector. We have all the energy, biotechnologies, and everything. But there is no big competition to apply to those positions. There is a much quicker career acceleration as well, because there is not enough people. And especially if you are highly skilled, it's quite easy to excel in a smaller country than when in a bigger country, because you don't have too much of a competition in there. So, for example, in a Google position, you will have maybe 60 people applying. In Lithuania, in India, how much gonna be? Million?
I can't even come. Yeah,
in one position. So there is. You can excel much quicker. You apply to many positions, anyway somebody is selecting you, because we have a lackage of high qualification workers. The economy is booming. We have, for sure, it's the only growing economy.
I was seeing that thing. I heard this statement from you before
Union.
also. Yeah. Okay.
So we have a lackage of engineers, IT specialists, biotechnology specialists, but with a degree that is coming, that is prepared here in Europe. Students need to have the skills that we need. For example, there is no opportunity to immigrate directly from India with your degree and to work in biotechnology sector, because the degree on biotechnology does not prepare students to work in the biotechnology sector that we have, with the newest equipment, with all the different research opportunities and so on. So that's why small country does not give you, small opportunities.
I would like to share one instance with you, one experience of mine. Recently, I was invited for a panelist on an education forum where I was having a discussion with a Canadian college. So it was about the employability challenges students faces. Employability is the responsibility of whom technically? Is it only student, or are we making the student ready for employability? So how do you see it? To me, I feel this way. The argument was about, as an institution, they have to create a platform where people can get skilled and carry on with a better employment. This is very important, and this is very important because this is what the students come for.
But this is what education is about,
yes.
Especially university education or higher education. This is what it is about. You come in, you get the right skill set, you join directly the job market. The employees are looking for you. We have a career fair held in our university. We have over 150 companies participating, and they are fighting for our students, with all the dances and everything.
I'm going to put in the bio the video from the last time when I was in Lithuania, I think a couple of years back, 2-3 years back. And I actually attended one of your job fairs, and I made the whole video. Sorry, audience, the video quality is not very great, but you can actually see what Davile just mentioned, that the students who are studying in Vilnius Tech, they actually have an access every year to a massive, very big job fair, which happens within the university. The whole building of the university I saw become a kind of exhibition center. And I was like, every corridor you have the booths and I happened to meet Western Union and a couple of more companies who very proudly said, we have English as a language of work in our floors.
Oh, it's very common. It's very common to have English as a working language, but local language as well is needed because if you want to integrate, if you want to live locally and so
very
on,
true.
Local language would be.
And also when you want your permanent residency, at one stage you have to have A2 level, I believe, or B1. You need to know.
If you work in service sector, it is now a requirement to have a A2 level of Lithuanian language.
Okay, but only if you're serving Lithuanian customer.
If you are working in service sector.
Okay. So let's suppose, say, if I'm working for a company who's delivering these services to outside Lithuania.
Yeah, but if you are not dealing directly with the customer, there is no there is no need. I'm talking about delivery, about
bolt and bolt jobs you're talking about, basically, in short.
Working in the cafeterias and so on.
Okay.
If you work directly with the customer, you need to know Lithuanian language.
Okay, as long as you are serving in Lithuania, right? Technically speaking, So there are a lot of companies I see, Davile, over these last couple of years after this new TRP scheme has come in. There's a lot of fintech companies coming in Lithuania, and the hub is becoming more bigger and bigger. I see more young students who we have sent for their education. They are also being attracted toward these jobs, these part-time jobs. They don't do odd jobs, I know multiple students who are working for office jobs. They are doing tech support, gaming support, airline ticketing jobs, and they are
Booking is operating from Lithuania as well.
Yeah.
A huge service sector.
So I think what is happening actually, I was doing some research. Why all these service sectors suddenly have moved into Lithuania? I mean, I've been watching it for last 2 years, and the graph is increasing because of the low cost of operations. This is what my conclusion was.
No, not the low, but quality of operations. One person can give you much more outcome for the companies. It is beneficial. One person can serve much more, because of the skill set that they have. So, and as well, we have the great technologies, fastest internet in the world, as well regulation. For companies to attract investment, we have favorable conditions for foreign investment in Lithuania as well. So that's why companies are moving. They are establishing more and more, offices. We have 4 unicorns already from Lithuanian startup sector as well. So it's a 3 million country. 4 unicorns is a lot,
People still think, that they, though I know it, but I need to know your opinion. People still think, if I go to Lithuania, I will have a lot of challenges with the local language, and studying in Lithuania, will be very difficult because I have to learn Lithuanian language. How true is it?
Any European country you will go. Tell me the country in Europe, except UK, which is outside the EU, which speaks English.
Okay.
There is no such country. So every country in Europe will need you to learn the local language. If you are thinking of Europe as your future, you need to understand that there are different languages. Same as in India. Every state has a different language.
I saw your.
If you want to integrate there,
I saw the video of the Lithuanian ambassador to India, Miss Diana. I hope I'm pronouncing correctly her name. She was talking in Hindi. And I was amazed, there's a video of hers on YouTube today. It was recently, there's a video published. So you're absolutely right. But my question was about my education years. Let's suppose, say, I'm very keen to come and study with you because you are a public university, well-funded, well-researched university. But do I have to learn local language while I'm doing my bachelor's or master's with you? Is there anywhere I will be stuck that you want me to learn the language?
Oh, no. For your studies, you don't need it. But we actually, we give out Lithuanian courses as a part of a study program. So all students have an opportunity to learn the language, at least the basics in the university.
A1 to A2?
Yeah, A1 and a A2 level. So
Okay,
two
A2 level.
semesters of studies
Wow.
for students. It is included, so without an extra charge.
Okay.
You can complete these courses as well in the university. But overall, this is where you will need the Lithuanian language in the
Okay.
Lithuanian language courses. But all the studies are in English. You do not need Lithuanian language for your studies.
Okay.
If you are here for a short term just to complete your education and you are not planning to work and so on, there is no need to learn the language.
Okay.
But if you want to integrate and have a career and life, around, that would be a must.
Coming to the security point of view, Lithuania as a country, because now you get people from across the world who are coming to Lithuania for jobs, for studies. And how safe Lithuania is for our students? Because this is the first thing people ask when they want to send their child abroad, especially the child who's going for a bachelor's degree program, 17 years old. I'm going to put up a link here as well for the couple of students. But what is your thought on this?
Oh, Lithuania is a very safe country. It is safe, and as well it is liberal, equal opportunities. So for sure, for the girls, I would say it's one of the best countries in Europe to come, for a safety reasons. Our dorms are also located in a very good part of the city, so there is no any security threats. I would say anyone can walk at night alone. We don't even think about it. When I travel Asia and other countries, bigger countries, there is always this feeling that I need to look back and feel secure somewhere, but it
Which is true.
never in Lithuania,
Okay.
never in Vilnius. I feel this way, But personally, but you can as well. Students can testify for sure that safety is priority number one for us.
I'll definitely going to ask this question directly to from some female students,
Yeah.
and ask them what do they think about this thing, because I think parents would love to hear the student version also.
And many female students do we have,
Okay.
and based on my convincing as well, and I
Okay.
see the girls thriving actually in technical specialities as well. There is this still, I don't know, myth that girls cannot study engineering or they would be better suited going for business degrees, but you set yourself for a lower salary from the beginning, So why not to try to study engineering, to study IT, to study biotechnologies, to be equal and earner in your life, to set your career from the beginning for the high earning career.
You have a very huge alumni network across the globe now. Not only Indians, but also the other students.
Students from 90 countries are studying in our universities.
Okay.
90.
90 countries.
Yeah, 90
Wow,
countries.
that's a big one. Students, when they come to you, they always want to. Everybody, most of the students nowadays know what is Erasmus exchange is. I'm going to put a small link here, audience. If you want to see what Erasmus is, you can see the video. But a lot of students want to come to you, Lithuania, for economically as well, because they see this as affordable option versus Sweden and Denmark, which is 3 times more. The program in mechanical at your university is going to cost them approximately 5,000 euros, let's suppose say, and the same program is costing them in Sweden and Denmark for 15,000 euros,
And
which is
living expenses.
and 3x times, right? People have an understanding that the program might be good. See, I'll be very blunt on this. Forgive me for this statement. People have a thought. I go to Sweden, I go to Denmark, I go to Finland, pay 15,000 euros. That is a better program. Now, can you explain me in what context can I bring both the programs together?
Oh, yeah, for sure. First of all, it's not a better program if you pay more for it, because Sweden, Denmark is just much, much higher living expenses. And, in the end, with your earnings and spendings, you will be in the same level as you are in Lithuania,
But my Swedish degree will be a degree from Sweden, a Swedish university.
So Europe, there is a mix of everything. You can study a part of your study program in Sweden if you even study in Lithuania. You can go for exchange, and we have this Tech network. We are a part of Tech. This is a network of Northern and Baltic technical universities.
Okay.
So this is a very close cooperation between Swedish, Danish, Norwegian, Finnish, and Baltic countries' technical universities.
Okay.
So you can spend at least a year in our partner institution, and get that feeling of studying in Sweden, get a transcript in there, and as well your part of your study program will be studied in Sweden, and
Okay.
university would give you a scholarship even to go to Sweden and to cover your living expenses.
So you're talking about the Erasmus exchange.
Yeah, we are
Okay.
talking about Erasmus exchange. Also, university has a double degree opportunities.
Okay.
These are not covered under exchange, but where you can spend up to a year in our partner institution and then earn double degrees.
Okay.
So
So
there
I
are
pay
options.
for the Lithuanian price, which is 5,000
Yeah.
euros. I go to Sweden. I study in your partner university, which is 15,000 euros, but I still only have to pay 5,000 euros.
Yeah.
My tuition fee.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
And we also give you a scholarship to cover your living expenses in Sweden.
Okay.
For 1 or 2 semesters, maximum is 2 semesters.
Okay.
What can be covered under Erasmus Plus study program.
So if I go to an employer in Denmark who have a job opportunities for mechanical engineer, and a guy come from Sweden and a guy come from Lithuania, both have a BTech bachelor in mechanical engineering, their degree value, is it going to be same for the employer in Denmark? Is he going to see the same way, both of them?
Yeah, it is. It is the same degree, and as well, if you say that also I lived in Sweden and I have an understanding of the culture in here. Maybe I learned some language and so on, because every European country has the language and they had their own culture and so on. So it is important to get a taste of that, if you are planning to apply for jobs. For example, if you lived all your life, not all your bachelor's in Lithuania, and then you are applying to Germany or you are applying to Sweden without being there. So you will not know how to directly approach the employees and so on. Every country is different culturally, let's say.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, but if you spend a year already in Sweden, for sure the degrees are equal by default.
Okay.
This is Europe, the degrees are equal by default, but this is about your preparation to be in the country, to work in there, and to apply for jobs, and so on. So if you spend a part of your study program in Sweden, for sure you will be equal with the Swedish graduates as well.
So on one hand, I have a 2-year master's in mechanical in the, let's say, University of West, let's say example, and I have a 2-year mechanical in Vilnius Tech. Now, Vilnius Tech is a national public university, which is a bigger University of West probably, than Sweden. Your rankings are much better because you are a national university, and you're also economical as compared to them. Now, one student went to Sweden, one went to Lithuania, both have a degree. They both went for a interview in France because they both have job seeker visa of 1 year, right? Both the countries are giving their TRP card from India itself. So there's no difference other than the price part. But by paying a lower price, I'm still getting a public university better ranking. And there I'm giving 3-time price, I'm getting a lower ranked university. But people are confused Sweden as a destination. See, they've listened more about the Sweden as a brand, as a country.
And maybe, as you said, the brand is already more established in India, maybe, and Sweden is a bigger country. So,
True.
So that is. But don't say that our education is cheap. It is not cheap. It is actually subsidized. As a government university, as a public university, basically we get all of our funds from our government. We do not charge extra fees of international students. In Sweden, local students don't pay anything.
Yeah, true.
International students pay 5 times the price or something like that. This is an earning opportunity for the universities as well from international students.
True.
And
Which is also in Netherlands as well.
Yeah, in Lithuania we don't do that. We have the same fixed price as for locals as the government is covering.
Okay.
So that's why the price looks low.
Yeah.
But it does not reflect on the quality because most of our funds do not come from the students. Our funds, over 100 million euros, are coming from our government and other support programs that we
Davile,
have.
I always tell students, when I do counselings, I always tell them, you can correct me if I'm wrong somewhere. Every country in the world have IITs and medicine for AIMS. In my country, to do a top-notch medical education, you go to AIMS, All India Medical Institute of Medical Sciences. Or for engineering, go to IITs. Every country in the world have their own IITs and own AIMS. Maybe lesser ranking globally, maybe more ranking globally, that's a different issue altogether. But everybody has something, right? So if I don't get into IIT in India, and I'm getting into your university, which is your IIT kind of. Lithuania has a top-notch education in Vilnius Tech or Kaunas Tech, the top-notch IITs of the country. That's the different name is there, So you have state university. You are a national state university. Then Riga has Riga Tech, Vilnius
Public university.
Public
There is no
university.
state,
Public university. On the name of the state. Estonia has Tallinn Tech, Warsaw Tech, and then you have Czech Tech. If you see the 5 countries together in row, they all have the biggest technical university on the name of their main state. The university.
The capital city.
Capital city. And they are the biggest within their country. So you cannot find any bigger university than them in their own country. So can I say this, that all these techs are as good as IITs in India?
Yes. And also we have cooperation with IITs. It is, I would say, on the same level. I have visited personally IIT Delhi as well.
I got this.
Different. I have different feelings.
Yes,
I see a lot of good people, but I see a retired infrastructure.
This was I was coming on. That was my next question. I see a lot of money. Lithuanian universities, specifically Vilnius Tech, I would say, is pumping back into the education system, facility. Recently, you have got this, I believe, 25 million euros invested into your 3 labs, which was a very big hype in Lithuania.
35.
In
the end, it was 35.
I did some kind of research and dig up a story, that this money came from selling your old real estate in the city, and you guys pumped up this money into the education system. Is it true?
Yeah. So we had our old buildings in Old Town. For sure, they are
the most expensive area of the Lithuania.
Yeah, very, very expensive. Our Old Town is also UNESCO protected Old Town. So we sold off the buildings and we built everything totally new according to the newest standards, with all the filtration and everything, so these are top-notch buildings, top-notch labs. Basically our researchers got everything they wanted. You can think of a thing and it was there. We even have now a space lab or something like that, with the huge,
It's a new Lithuania we talk about now. It's a fresh understanding,
It's actually even, it's called New Generation Lithuania. We had this
let's use the word
program.
What's new in Lithuania for international students? Thank you for joining me.
Press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.